And at 4:37, we turn to farm news and find that just hours before it was set to go into effect, federal judge Ralph Erickson in Fargo yesterday afternoon blocked the waters of the U.S. rule from going into effect this morning at midnight. It would expand the Clean Water Act and give greater federal oversight to bodies of water throughout the country. U.S. District Judge Ralph Erickson issued the injunction about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. EPA said that by clearly defining which waterways are protected, only those that impact the health of larger bodies of water downstream. The new rule in the Clean Water Act would reduce the amount of resources spent on case-specific analysis of water. It's a very complicated issue, and of course it's far from resolved. Likely will end up in the courts. Shares in Syngenta jumped over 5% yesterday, having plunged 18% Wednesday when U.S. seeds giant Monsanto announced it was abandoning its pursuit of a deal. So, now what? Well, Syngenta management faced increasing pressure yesterday to offer visible action on what it's going to do to increase their value. With no alternative bidders on the horizon, analysts are speculating that Syngenta could buy back shares to help win investor confidence. No alternative bidder has emerged, but BASF did put together a loan package over the summer for a counterbid against Monsanto for Syngenta. Did not act on it. Caterpillar announced this week it'll lay off about 475 people. The company said it is consolidating several units within its customer services support division. According to a statement from the company yesterday, cuts will affect managers and support staff, according to the Chicago Tribune. The announcement brings the total number of layoffs this year to 745. Those of you who thought you were going to have to dig deeper for your Thanksgiving turkey are in luck. According to a board member of the North Dakota Turkey Federation, the dire predictions of high-priced birds are not likely going to happen. That group met in Fargo yesterday. The recovery for the turkey industry, hit by avian influenza, or the bird flu, as it is more commonly called, is at the top of their agenda.
The supply won't be an issue. Turkeys will be available. I don't see that as being an issue. Price-wise, I think similar to previous years, maybe a little higher, but I wouldn't expect anything to be too far out of the ordinary.
Mueller says even the turkey producers who had their flocks wiped out by bird flu should recover quickly. The flu, or exposure to it, resulted in some 45 million birds destroyed in 15 states, some of them right here in our own backyard. Minnesota most affected by turkey deaths, and Iowa by chickens. Cattle producers haven't seen much for advancement in new medicines for their animals, but there is a new product on the market called Zelnate. It would be put under the microscope and researched at North Dakota State University.
For years, we've been trying to find products other than just a vaccine, but most importantly, other than antibiotics that can give us some advantage over some of these potential pathogens. There's a company, it's actually Bayer, and many of our crop farmers will recognize Bayer Crop Science. Well, Bayer, in addition to being a human company, also has an animal health company. And they've come up with a product that is supposed to stimulate the immune system to kind of fight better, if you will, against some of these pathogens. Zelnate, it's supposed to be what we call an innate immune system stimulator. So we're very anxious to take a look and see if our producers can benefit from using that.
Zelnate is designed to treat and prevent bovine respiratory disease. Many farmers dealing with the wild hog population in Oklahoma, in Oklahoma alone, there are over 1 million hogs and growing. So many hogs are running loose. They're costing the state $1.5 billion a year in agriculture and livestock losses. Reporter Megan Farley shows us how landowners are fighting back on the ground and in the air.
They're violent, they're often diseased, and they can now be found in every one of Oklahoma's 77 counties.
These animals are very opportunistic, omnivorous, they're very aggressive, and they're very smart.
Just ask Charlie Koblenz. Parts of his 6,000-acre farm near Inola are destroyed. Corn seedlings ripped from the ground just a month after planting.
The hog will root up the corn seed and dig it out of the ground and eat the corn seed at the bottom of the plant.
The Koblenz family has worked this farm for decades. Today, the wild hog problem is just about out of control.
I don't feel like there's a real good solution to fix the problem.
People who say they're just pigs don't understand how violent these animals are.
Jack Mulhauser built this pen on Charlie's farm. Inside, they've trapped up to 15 hogs at once.
You got a locking mechanism. They will get you.
Oklahoma's one of 3 states that's got a real feral hog or wild hog population problem. Oklahoma, Texas, and then California has quite a few as well.
Ag expert Ron Hayes with the Radio Oklahoma Network says estimates put the state's wild hog population as high as 1 million, and they multiplied quickly.
Other animals will have maybe 1 or 2 babies a year. Hogs will have a dozen or more a year.
That's partially why Oklahoma's population is growing exponentially. Back in March, state troopers and ag agents pulled over trailers and arrested several people for illegally transporting 120 hogs from Texas into Oklahoma.
And, you know, it all depends on the pigs.
Landowners are just now formulating a coordinated statewide plan to get rid of the hogs.
The population is very mobile, and you'll push those animals into places where they haven't been before out of necessity. Then they'll breed there, and then others will overbreed, and they'll come back into the spot that's been cleared.
The long-term solution is everybody's got to do something. We have got to go at the feral swine problem in Oklahoma with everything we got.
It's very frustrating to see your work be destroyed by a wild animal or anything that could destroy your work, whether it be Mother Nature or animals.
Oklahoma Ag Department says wild hogs can carry or transmit more than 30 diseases. Of those 120 pigs smuggled in from Texas, half tested positive for pseudorabies. It's a virus passed along by hogs. It's usually deadly for dogs, cats, cattle, sheep, and goats. Several of the confiscated hogs also tested positive for brucellosis, a disease that affects livestock and people. 4:44, right after the break, we're going to come back and take a look at the big thunderstorms going through Iowa and our farming forecast for the weekend. We'll be right back.